believes I can't sleep.
It's time to listen to Courtney at last on the Ramblings of an Insomniac podcast.
Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Ramblings of an Insomniac. I am Courtney. How the heck are you all doing? Shout out to everybody that is just tuning in for the first time. If this is your first time, welcome, welcome. The more the merrier. Come on in. Take off your shoes, sit back, relax, have a glass of whatever it is you're drinking. And if this is not your first time, if you're coming back, I appreciate it. I appreciate it very much. Thank you so much for everybody that has, whether you're listening for the first time or this isn't your first rodeo, I genuinely, truly appreciate it a lot. You rock my socks. Tell a friend, tell a neighbor, tell a coworker. So, hey, there's a lot of stuff going on in the land of America. Well, just all over, actually, everywhere in the world. It seems I don't know, like right now it's pretty foggy out, and I feel like that's pretty perfect for the mood lately. That kind of foggy, heavy, dense feeling, you know? I feel like that's sort of what everyone's, kind of how everybody's feeling lately, just heavy. And I don't mean heavy like that's heavy, man. I mean heavy as just a lot of weight seems to be on people's shoulders these days. Like I said, so many people I know have passed away. People are losing their loved ones and their pets. Um, a lot of unfortunately, a lot of people I know have dogs that have passed away, including my own, unfortunately. Our dog, Charlie, we had to put to sleep not yesterday, but a week ago, Monday. So it's been 8 days, and we miss him terribly. And it's not something that anyone should ever have to do. Animals should just live forever. I know there's that movie, All Dogs Go to Heaven. I won't watch it because it just seems too sad. I won't even watch Homeward Bound, and all the animals live in Homeward Bound. They all live, no one dies, but I won't watch it because I can't stand the thought that these poor dogs and the cat thought that their owners had abandoned them. And I was like, oh my God, these poor dogs think that their owners have abandoned them. And that just made me too sad to watch it. And just losing a pet makes me always say, that's it. I'm never going to get an animal again. I'm not getting a dog, a cat, a fish, a bird, a hamster. I don't care. I'm not getting one. I can't stand losing him. It's way too hard. We stayed there the whole time until he took his last breath. He's technically my son's dog, my oldest son's dog. And I have been caring for him because ever since they moved and he's got his full-time job, they don't really have a place to take him. I offered. They didn't want me to take him. They didn't ask me to take him. I offered because I have property and everything. But it's hard. But I also can't stand seeing him suffer. It wasn't fair for him to be in so much pain. It took every ounce of energy he had just to be able to lay down. He couldn't sit. He could barely lay down. He was losing all of his sight, his hearing. He had lumps, just fatty tissues, fatty lumps all over him. And every time he would eat, he'd throw up. He couldn't keep anything down. We've tried every single thing known to man, spent thousands of dollars on trying to figure out what is going on with him. And he couldn't drink water without throwing it up. And it's been going on for like a year. And we've tried everything. And so he was an older guy. He was 14. And Well, 13. He was 13. And we were basically, I just felt like we were keeping him alive for us. And that's not fair. As much as I want him around and I don't want to be without him, it's not fair to keep him around just for us. So unfortunately, we had to make that decision, and it was awful. And now I have another dog that is 14, my girl Nora. I've had her since she was a puppy. She'll be 14 in April. And then my mom's dog, Henry, will be 13 in May. And then I adopted a senior dog who was, 7 when I got her, and I got her 3 years ago. So she's 10 now. And then we have another dog who is 9. So, they're all getting up there. And I'm worried that I'm going to lose them all at once. And I've already lost quite a few people the last 2 years. I've lost my mom and 2 people that I call my grandma and grandpa. They're not biologically my grandparents, but they helped raise me. And an aunt who also is not biologically my aunt. She's from the same family. She's from my grandma and grandpa, who had a daughter. They had 2 daughters and a son. They lost all 3 of their sons, and all 3 of their children, 2 daughters and a son, before they even passed away. And then they passed away. And it's just been, my cousin passed away, and now my dog, and then several of my friends' dogs and our customers' dogs have passed away. And again, like I said, a lot of people are breaking up and getting divorced. And it's just been a real foggy, gloomy bummer of a year. It really has. So with the upcoming elections, I'm hoping that maybe there'll be a glimmer of hope, and maybe Trump will be elected. If Trump is elected, I feel like that might be the rainbow, the shining moment. I'm not thinking he's a savior. He can't just come in and rescue everything and in one foul swoop wave a magic wand and suddenly have everything be okay. That's not going to happen. But at least it proves that people haven't completely and totally lost their minds. I mean, there are a lot of people who have definitely lost their minds. That's for sure. We've all seen it. We've been around it. But at least it would give some hope that there are some people out there with brain cells left, with common sense left, that do care about America, that care about the citizens of America, that care about our rights and our freedom, that care about crime. So I'm hoping and praying and crossing my fingers and my toes and everything. And I wish I had a rabbit's foot and a horseshoe and all the things and a 4-leaf clover. Because if Kamala wins, oh, I don't know. I honest to gravy feel like there's going to be hell to pay. And I don't mean that as in I'm not threatening that. I'm saying I don't think that's going to digest well with the world. I don't think just America. I think with the world. There are a lot of people in other countries that very much want Trump to win because they feel like it's good for the world, because he is great at foreign policy. He's great at maintaining peace around the world. And then there are some people that don't want Trump to win because they know they can't get away with their bullshit. There are leaders of other countries that know if Trump is in office and he's put back at the helm, they suddenly have to go back to their corners. They suddenly need to take a seat and sit down. They know that they can't bark anymore. They can bark, but Trump will bite. Trump actually bites. Kamala just barks like a little chihuahua, a little yippee. Yum, 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 yum. Meow, 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 meow. She doesn't actually follow it up with anything whatsoever. So I'm hoping. God, I don't even want to know. I can't even imagine what the world is going to be like if Kamala the killer is put in charge. Because again, she's already vice president. People keep forgetting that. She's already in charge. And look at the world. Just look around. Not doing too great. So again, I think there are people of other countries that don't want Trump to win because they know that he's going to hold them accountable. They know that if he says no, he doesn't just go, don't, like E.T. phone home. He just reminds me of like he's fallen apart like E.T. That's what Biden looks like. Biden looks like E.T. right now. It's sad. It's scary. And again, I'm not hating on him because as much as I can't stand Biden, and he's always been a piece of garbage, never been a good person. But right now that he has dementia, I don't think it's right to make fun of him because right now it's not his fault. Before, he is free game. Free game, but now I think it's a little unfair. It's kind of an unfair fight to be picking on a feeble old man that literally has no idea what's up and down. So, like I said, throwing salt over my shoulder, not walking under any ladders or anything because I don't want any bad luck. There's already been enough bad luck in the world. We don't need more. We need some change. Definition of insanity, doing the same thing over and over again, expecting the same results. Well, if we elect Kamala, that is exactly what we're doing. We are insane. We're absolutely insane. We're expecting different results, and I'm not sure why because she's already vice president. So I'm not really sure what people think is going to happen when she becomes president, how they think it's going to be so different. But hey, anyway, that is definitely on my mind, the elections. And I hope the elections are on your mind. I hope everybody gets out there and votes. I have my voters pamphlet filled out. I'm turning it in today. I'm getting it in there today. That way it's not too early, but it's also not too late. I'm kind of trying to find that. I don't want to do it on the day of, but I don't want to do it so far ahead of time that it, gets lost or whatever. So I'm trying to find that balance. But vote. It's very, very important. Don't just go around talking about who you're going to vote for. Don't just go around talking the talk. You need to walk the walk. You need to back up your actions need to match your words. Actions speak louder than words. So if we're not voting, then we don't really have the right to cry over what's going on in our country. We don't really have the right to boo-hoo and throw temper tantrums and go out and scream and yell if we're not going to be actively involved. We need to, it's funny how people like to talk about how things need to be changed and how they could be fixed, but no one likes to come up with solutions. I mean, I've done it a million times, and I'm wrong when I do it. I need to back up my words. More people should back up their words. I don't know why that's such a hard thing to do. People like to pretend that they are just righteous and glorious and so wonderful. Look at all the things I'm doing. But I've noticed it's the people that are behind the scenes, not making a big show, not going around bragging about the things that they've done. Those are usually the people that are getting shit done. Those are the people that are normally out doing right by the world, doing good, volunteering, finding solutions, going out and being a part of the solution and showing up to their city council meetings, volunteering for things. People that aren't going around talking about how fantastic they are and how things should be different and talking about change. Usually the people that aren't talking are usually the ones doing. I'm not saying that if you talk about stuff, it doesn't mean that you don't do things. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying it seems that the majority of the time, people that aren't out there making a big show are usually doing the most work. In my observation, anyway. There's always the exception, of course. Everything I say, I realize there's an exception. I realize that I'm not, if I say women, I realize not every single woman. If I say man, I realize it's not every single man. So vote, 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 please vote, must vote, incredibly important, especially because things are so close right now, which I don't know how things are close. It's just gross. However, I've noticed that betting wise, like in Vegas, everybody bets on everything in Vegas, of course. Everybody bets on everything, including who is going to become president. They bet on who is going to be elected. And right now, people are betting on Trump. It's something like, I don't remember what it was, like 2.5 billion bets, something like 2.5 billion bets, and like 683 million are for Trump, apparently. I don't know, something like that. I don't remember what the statistics were exactly, but I don't know. That's not right because I would be more voting for Harris. But anyway, at any rate, apparently more people are betting on Trump winning than Harris. So I hope to gravy, honest to goodness, I just hope and pray that that they win, those that voted on Trump. Because then if they win, we win. We all win as a country. We win as a planet. Because like I said, he's great at peace. He's great at foreign policy. He's great at talking to leaders of other countries without starting fights and starting wars, unlike Biden, unlike Obama, unlike Harris, who just like conflict, conflict, conflict. It's just gross. It's gross what politics has turned out to, because here you have the opportunity to do so much good. But people get swayed by the almighty dollar, of course. Power, power, power. People get hungry and they just feed off the power. They just suck the soul and the lives out of everybody else so that they can breathe. They're like a Dementor from Harry Potter. They just suck the soul out of all of us so that they can keep living. It's insane how evil and vile and corrupt our government has become. And honestly, it's our fault. We have allowed it. We have given them that power and we keep feeding them that power, just like celebrities. Celebrities get away with everything because we allow it. They get away with literal murder because we allow it. I've said 10 billion times, I've said on almost every podcast, celebrities are nothing but overpaid court gestures. They get paid to entertain us. They don't have some life-altering, important job. Like I said, of course, it's important to laugh and to be entertained because it's good for our psyche. It's good to keep us happy and stuff. But it isn't a necessary thing. We don't need it to survive. And the only reason that they have their Lamborghinis and their gigantic mansions and their jewels is because we are providing it for them. We're giving them the attention that they crave so much. We keep feeding their egos. They do a little trick and we toss them a fish. They balance the ball on their nose and we clap and say, "Yay, here's your reward." We give them a gold star every time they don't, every time they follow the law, every time they don't break the law. We give them a little pat on the head and tell them, "Good job." And we reward them by watching their shows, following them on social media, buying concert tickets, buying their merchandise. We keep tossing that fish up in the air every time they do a little circus monkey dance for us, and it's ridiculous. We're giving them the power, so of course they're going to take it, just like our politicians. Of course they're going to continue to do whatever they want, whenever they want, regardless of if it's good for the country or not, because they have sold their soul to the devil. They're working with leaders of other countries. They have promised leaders of other countries favors. And we all know what kind of favors Harris has probably promised them, the same kind of favors that have gotten her where she is today. Allegedly. Allegedly. Wink, wink. So, it's just a big orgy fest. P. Diddy, they're all appalled by P. Diddy. Really? Because it seems like there's quite a few celebrities that were partying it up with P. Diddy. P. Diddy. Same with Epstein. What is wrong with celebrities and politicians? They're all disgusting. Hey, you do you, Scotty P. If you want to have an orgy, have an orgy. If you want to be a swinger, be a swinger. I honestly don't care what you do in the privacy of your own home. I care, though, when it affects our country. I care if it's illegal. I care if it harms people. I care if there are minors involved. I care if it's not consensual. If it's not consensual, if there are minors involved, if it harms people, if it puts people at risk, then I care and it's my business. Otherwise, you do you. I let your freak flag fly high and proud. Let that flag wave. It's okay. You don't need my permission to get your freak on. I'm just saying that politicians and celebrities love to do the Eddie Haskell thing. And again, to my listeners that are not Generation Xers, if you're younger than that, you probably aren't going to know who the heck that is. But, it's the whole wolf in sheep's clothing. And it's disgusting, but we've given them that power. So we can't really complain about it. And we continue to give it to them. I'm not going to go to a Pink or an Eminem or a Beyonce concert. I'm not going to buy their merchandise. I'm not going to follow them on Twitter. If they have podcasts, I'm not going to listen to them. We need to stop feeding into them or power. We need to quit giving them energy. We need to take away their power. So vote, vote, vote. We have got to vote. It is incredibly important to get out there and back up what we're saying. Otherwise, this is going to continue. And America and our world as we know it, it's the end of the world as we know it. And I don't feel fine. Anyway, what else is on my mind? Big changes, lots of big changes. You might notice that I'm sitting here talking to you and it might sound echoey. It might sound weird. It might sound different and echoey. That is because I am in an apartment right now. I've had some changes, been making some choices. It's interesting when you decide that you are actually worth something. When you start to value yourself, it's amazing how wide your eyes open. It's amazing how much you really start to see when your eyes are actually open. When your ears are no longer plugged and you can hear and see the world around you, and you start to realize, wow, I do not deserve to be mentally abused. I do not deserve to be lied to and cheated on. I don't deserve to be treated less than or be, to be scared or fearful of things or to walk on eggshells. When you finally make the decision to better yourself and to do something good for your own life, it's pretty liberating. It's sad in a lot of ways because you've put your energy into, you've put your whole heart and your whole energy into a person, and it's sad when it doesn't work. It's sad when you've tried and you feel like you have really forgiven a lot and been patient and have really tried to fix yourself and work on yourself and work on a relationship, and it still just doesn't work. Especially if you've put many years into it, And so it's weird because you can mourn what used to be and you can mourn the good times. But you can also, it's okay to be happy that you've made a decision that is best for you. It's okay to feel good that you have decided that you're worth it, that you're worth being around people that are positive and finding yourself again and finding your happiness again. You shouldn't have to live in fear. You shouldn't have to live walking on eggshells. And I don't know, it's pretty liberating. But again, it's also hard and it's a change and you have to make a lot of sacrifices, and those things are scary. It can be scary, but when you're an only child, you kind of get used to doing things on your own anyway. So, that helps. So my podcast might sound a little different from now on. There might be a different environment. You're going to hear different things in the background for sure. But that's okay. It's all about perspective, right? I talk about perspective all the time. So it's just a new perspective. Anyway, I hope everybody out there is doing okay. I know it's been hard. I know it's been rough, and people are just kind of waiting and waiting for things to change. But sometimes you have to make that change. You can't really just wait around. You have to do it. Sometimes you have to be that change. I mean, I know that's said all the time. That's not a profound thing. That's like on a bumper sticker and t-shirts everywhere. Be the change you want to see or whatever. But it's true. I mean, that's why it's on t-shirts and bumper stickers, right? Because it's true. It's good advice. So, to everybody out there that's struggling, I'm sending you a big hug. Sending you hugs. I'm sending you positive energy. And again, just remember to take that deep breath, just to stop whenever you start feeling like you are out of control or starting to have a panic attack, just stop. Take that deep breath in through your nose, out through your mouth. Breathe in slowly, breathe out slowly. Take several breaths, control what you can. That's all we can do. And hey, if you're ever feeling bored, anxious, lonely, happy, whatever, just turn on my podcast, right? Tell a friend, tell everybody. Maybe it'll make you happy. Thank you again to everybody listening, and until next time.